Okay, chat. We're going to start out today with a life lesson. A life lesson that you should all take to heart. This is very important stuff. All right. And we're going to, straight from America's top educational institution, and that is PragerU. PragerU will absolutely teach us personal responsibility, which is the ultimate freedom, okay? We're going to learn the ultimate freedom today. We're going to unlock the secrets. This is a life hack. Are you ready? This is new. It came out a couple days after Christmas, so PragerU on personal responsibility. PragerBoo, got him.
Personal responsibility. Whoa, who wants to hear about that? Well, you do.
The voice acting was really good. Whoa, who wants to hear about that? Well, you do. Nice. I like that.
If you want to have any chance at health, wealth, and happiness.
True.
So what does it mean, personal responsibility?
You know what I like is that every time we have one of these conversations, they trot out their favorite black guy or gal. PragerU never fails to typecast exactly the wrong person for this every time. Because now it's just like, look, we have a black friend who does personal responsibility. He's conservative. You should be that. It's so dumb. Don't know this guy?
You probably already know. But just in case...
It's Zuby. Oh, people actually do know this guy. I just didn't recognize him. It's the Zuby guy. He does Zuby stuff. He's bad on Twitter. He's just dumb all the time.
It means holding yourself accountable for your words and actions, instead of blaming others or making constant excuses. It means taking responsibility for your own successes, but also, and this is even more important, your own failures.
Does anyone not do this besides gamers when they die? It didn't even touch me, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty sure just gamers are bad at this. Everybody else is pretty good in general. I mean, there's some people, but usually those people suck, right? Usually those people are like, nothing's my fault. And you're like, you suck, dude. Not really people. Like, this is targeted at, like, you know, people who are, like, liberals, I guess, about personal responsibility. Now, they're going to say, like, the government's not your daddy and dumb shit like that.
Your life boils down to this.
Mm-hmm.
Conscious choices, habits, and random events.
Random events. The random event of being born into poverty. The random event of being born a type of person that will face persecution for literally existing in the way that they innately exist. It was just a random event, dude. This random event thing, I know he's going to say, like, this is basically like luck and bad luck and shit, but blame it on RNG. Really, this is real life RNG. This is really what it is, yeah.
You can't control everything that happens to you.
Sure.
Accidents, sickness, bad...
Sickness. Now, I know that this was just a thermometer in the mouth, but it looks like someone threw it like a throwing knife and it stabbed into the cheek of this person. Because their mouth is like here if their eye patch is here.
Luck, human malice, and natural disasters are all unfortunate realities of life. On the other hand, you also get to experience love, friendship, kindness, opportunity, and generosity.
You can't enjoy the sunshine without a little rain, chat. It's like he's chugging on that mercury. Maybe he is.
All the good stuff life has to offer. But bad things do happen, and sometimes there's nothing we can do about it. What we can control is how we react. It's a lot easier said than done, but people do it all the time.
Okay. Like
Who
what?
doesn't know someone who's been dealt a bad hand? For example, a debilitating disease.
Sure.
Yet who manages to be happier than someone who is in perfect health.
Well, debilitating disease. Okay, so don't you think we have a responsibility as like a society to understand that this does happen? Like the bad hand, as it were, does happen. And there are people with debilitating diseases that won't be able to bootstraps or work real hard at some stuff. Like maybe they can do it depending on the disease or the affliction or whatever it is. Anything, like maybe you're born with paralysis, maybe you're fucking, you get in a car accident when you're a kid or something. Like anything could happen, you know? Why don't we support at least this group of people with their medical costs, with housing, with food, with any of that? We don't. What do you mean happier? Who the fuck? I don't know. This is wild. The internet is really one of the only things that keeps some of these people afloat. Like someone like Ricky Berwick, you know what I mean? Like, and he's kind of a dick, but that's okay. He is going to not, like, that guy can't do like hard physical labor due to, you know, just the happenstance of his birth. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it really doesn't matter. Just know that he has some physical issues where he wouldn't be able to like move in the same way that someone who we consider like able-bodied, I guess, which I don't even know if is that term even right anymore. I don't even know. But he would otherwise be forced to live, I assume, with a caretaker or something. But he is able to find some financial stability because of like shit posting on the internet and being able to make money because he makes content. You know what I mean? Even if you don't really like him, which I don't really like him, but like, I think that's a good thing. I think it's but these people shouldn't, like, I don't know. It's very similar to like, I don't know, like Peter Dinklage and the guy from Willow. I forget his name all of a sudden. He's like a great actor. Why am I forgetting his name? Willow, Star Trek. What the fuck? What is his name? What the fuck is his name? Okay, that's bothering me. I'm gonna get stunlocked by just not remembering his name. But anyway, one of you guys are gonna say it, and I'm gonna be mad about it. Warwick Davis, thank you so much. And God, super dumb. But like a lot of times, like people just like that, where they have like, some sort of physical difference from the rest of the general population at large, and they're forced into like entertainment roles. Like, look at me and oogle at my differentness. It's like, it's kind of gross. Like, this shouldn't have to happen. Because that's part of Ricky Berwick's thing, is that he tries to be a little gross and shit because he knows that he looks different from people, right? And so, like, and it's not just about that. It could be, you don't have to be, like actually entirely debilitated by anything. Like, just even someone with, like, COPD, or someone with, like, asthma, or someone with, like, vision problems, or teeth problems, or skin problems, or anything. Like, it doesn't have to be, like, debilitating. Just a disease, a chronic illness. We still don't take care of these people. I have no idea how we can say that this country is like fucking awesome when we understand this, right? This interaction happens. We know bad hands, air quotes, are dealt to folks randomly. And we just don't respond to that. It's nuts. It's absolutely wild to me.
We all confront our own struggles, pain, personal tragedies, and ultimately death. So while you're here, I recommend making the most of the opportunity. To do that, the very first thing you have to do is take responsibility for your life.
Okay.
Yet this simple and self-evident concept is widely rejected and even mocked.
No, it's because of the baggage of because when you say take responsibility for your life, it's not saying like a leftist saying take responsibility for your own actions are like about concepts around consent, around concepts about like abusive behavior and stuff like that. Like a leftist agrees in general with the idea of you are responsible for your actions and you are responsible for it. But we're not talking about that. You're talking about responsibility in a much broader cosmic sense. Because, you were born with fucking no legs. Buck up, chin up, bucko. Like, no, there needs to be assistance for people, like, for every American, for every person in the world, really, but we're only in America, so for every American, they should have health care. They should have dental, vision, all that, mental health care. That should just be a thing, because none of us are fucking doctors except the ones that are, and those doctors need doctors too. Everybody needs health care. Everybody needs it. Not maybe will need it. Needs it. 100%. There's no reason to avoid that. That is not responsibility for my life. I like the idea that you need to buy insurance to be able to be taking responsibility for yourself. What if you can't afford it and you're working hard? What are you supposed to do? Not get sick? It's like super basic. You could have this exact same outlook on life. Oops, wrong one. You could have the same exact outlook on life and be a leftist. You just straight up just get easy stuff wrong. I guess Maya style. Thanks for the 42 months. Just stop being depressed.
Is that?
Simply.
It's because it strikes at the core of our ego, our image of ourselves.
It's not that.
It's human nature to seek excuses.
Some people might, sure, that's fine. Some people might cope in different ways about stuff. But I mean, like when you look at somebody and you're like, dude, you are a dick to people. That person needs to fucking reflect. I have been a dick to people. I reflect and I try not to be. That's it. It's the whole thing. Took responsibility for being a dick. Try to be less of a dick. Easy. Easy. But not easy to try to not have cancer. Simply don't have it. What do you mean? Sometimes you get it. I need healthcare now. This is not something that was in my control necessarily. Like, even if you smoke and stuff, even if you're a fucking, like, you chose to take the job to get the black lung. Like, what do you mean? Sometimes that's the only opportunity to have, like, a decent life under capitalism. So you have to, like, if you're going to do capitalism, which we are, then you must, as a country, take responsibility for the economic system and understand that you need to offset the bad parts of the system. If they simply offset, like, dying in a gutter from capitalism, if they just offset that and we're like, hey, housing, healthcare, food, all covered, you're fine if you don't succeed, capitalism would be a pretty ethical system. Not 100%, but it would be pretty ethical. Right now, in its current state, we're not there. We're not there. I mean, guns are different stuff, but, like, sockdom? No, I'm further left than a sockdom. I'm just saying, like, that would be more ethical, right? All we need is more ethical. Every day, just move forward. Like, what do we need right now? What's the worst parts of capitalism? Address those things. Easy. Keep capitalism, and it keeps moving forward. People have more money, more health, and the capitalism go burr. And it's going to continue to go until eventually we decide we don't need that anymore. But, I mean, you kind of got to, like, take steps. Beyond sockdom? Oh yeah, way beyond sockdom. I am a spiritual anarcho-communist, or probably anarcho-socialist. Yeah, socialist. I like that better. But I don't really think we can accomplish that. So it's really just like, what can we do to set the groundwork so that future generations can achieve that? Because I'm not going to be alive for that shit. You know what I'm saying? Pragmatic anarchist. There you go. We got to work our way that way. You know what I mean? And, like, it's kind of obvious, right? I don't know. But, like, they're worried about communism. I'm not worried about communism. What do you... Oh, I keep pressing the wrong button. You guys didn't do corn, so I keep pressing the corn thing, but the corn thing's not up. Because low energy night crew. What the fuck?
People they're responsible for their bad decisions removes these comforting alibis. Blaming another individual, group, or plain bad luck is much more appealing.
Okay. This might be a little fucked up. I feel like this looks like a fake beard. Like, it looks like it was placed there. Am I crazy? It looks like you ever see a bad character creator video game and the like facial hair asset is like kind of like offset from the... It just feels bad. Maybe it's bad lighting. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's just... He does have very nice skin. He has a very smooth dome. He looks supple. But the beard itself looks a little like... Maybe just sparse? I don't know.
Is much more appealing. Furthermore, adopting such a victim mindset can act as a form of social currency.
Of course.
A way to court attention and sympathy, or even as a cudgel to wield against others.
I don't think it's a cudgel to wield against... I don't know what... The right has a lot of problems with this, and I don't really understand why. When someone has, like, a legitimate gripe about, like, a systemic issue, they fucking just never take the side of that. Ever. Right? Unless that happens to be against a specific Democrat. You know what I mean? Like, why can't we just agree that some shit is bad? Like, you don't have to... There's nothing in the Republican playbook, like, in conservatism in general. Like, the idea of, like, economic conservatism and even social conservatism, like, they do not benefit from racism. They don't. It makes no sense. Yet they always support it. Like, at this point, they really don't benefit from it. Like, from a political standpoint. Every time it makes people vote against them. And it's like, if they just stopped being racist, they'd probably win even more elections. Like, just racism. But, like, or homophobia or transphobia or any of those things. Like, there's no reason for that. They're just mad about stuff. It's like, what's the political application of, like, being anti-trans? I don't understand. Like, why can't we just get to a point where humans can sit down for just 2 seconds and go like, okay, what's important? Okay? Number one important thing for Americans, probably, I would say, their health, right? I would say the health of every American is the most important thing on America's plate. Not just because of COVID, but definitely because of COVID, but, just in general. You want everybody to be healthy because it's like from a blank slate. Like if you were playing The Sims, right? You would want them all their needs to be met so you can max out on the other shit, right? Just play The Sims with humanity. Don't lock them in a room and set off fireworks though to start a fire in the house or make ghosts. But do buy the vibrating love bed and make them do woohoo. Damn it, press the wrong button again.
If you're out of shape, broke, unsuccessful, or unhappy, then it must be the fault of someone else.
Sometimes it's the fault of someone else, sometimes it's not. But that doesn't matter. What's the point?
Or even better, some nefarious system which doesn't even need to be defined.
I mean, we can define every system that allows this. Out of shape? Well, a lot of this has to do with, like America's obesity problem has a lot to do with the cheap and affordable food is often just highly caloric, usually high fat, high carbohydrate, high sugar, because that offers more bang for your buck, so to speak. So people eat unhealthily because it is hard to do, especially in places with food deserts. Also, they spend a lot of time working in low-wage jobs, and they don't have enough physical time or physical like ability basically left in them. They're tuckered out, man. They can't just like sit and work. So they eat bad food. They go home and they sit down, and then even on their off days, like, I'm just fucking exhausted. I want to sit around. So like, it might sound like walking does a lot, but like it really doesn't do that much for your physical health. Some people can manage this, but a lot of people can't. I mean, being broke, it's a system of capitalism, obviously. Excelazor, thanks for the tier 1. Appreciate you. What was this one? Bad luck or some shit? I don't know. But the sadness? Come on, dude. You're just going to blame everyone's sadness on themselves? That's crazy. You choose to be sad. Really? I feel like sadness is clearly not chosen. It's not even close. Like, you just feel sad. Sometimes shit just fucking bothers you. And you can't shake it. Like, it has to be reconciled in some way. Hell yes, this guy. Sims is fun, dude.
You just know that you're a victim of it. It's easy to see why people would want to reject
It's not about being a victim, bro. This whole narrative is so odd. Like, this is not what left-leaning people are saying. It really isn't. Do they have conversations with us ever? Okay, hey, here it is. Hey, Zuby. Zoobs, my man. You're looking good in this. Looking nice. Would you like to have a discussion about what leftists actually believe? Because I would love to have that discussion. Hit me up anytime, bro. Zooby dooby doo. It's okay, I'm Corn Guy. You have a weird name, I have Corn. It's fine.
The idea of personal responsibility. The warm glow of victimhood is very tempting.
The warm glow of victimhood. Hey, show of hands. How many of you guys like being a victim? Wow, fucking not a single one of you? I didn't give you enough time. Is there anyone that loves being a victim of stuff? You're just like, damn, dude, anytime that I'm oppressed, I feel good about that shit. I'm fucking happy about it. Hell yeah, I see a lot of you guys in there. only in kink scenes. There we go, guys. Man, isn't it nice when you're the victim of like transphobia? You're just like, fuck yeah, now I get some attention, finally. Like, what are they talking about? Attention? Attention. So weird.
But the consequences of doing so inevitably lead to misery, anger, and ruin.
Do you think maybe the victimhood, it's not the feeling of victimhood, it's actually being a victim that leads to misery, anger, and ruin? Is there okay, to a Republican, is there a valid case of someone being a victim of like social ills? Because it seems to me every time we bring up someone's actual like, maybe it's because we use the word oppression and they think oppression is like you're locked in a cage and you are made to go like Holocaust. They think that's oppression or slavery is oppression. Well, we're not doing those things, so it's not oppression. Maybe we should use a different word. Like, is it a marketing issue? Is it a word that they're worried about? This guy, Jesus. Because none of us are, like, I don't encounter a lot of leftists. Now, granted, there are people in general that this applies to, but I don't think it draws itself on political lines. There are people out here who are just perpetually victims. Andy No is a great example of someone who's always the victim in every situation. Always. And he does it for attention. He really does. Bad shit. That's not good. We don't like this. There's lots of people that do this kind of thing. But, like, this isn't like a political take. This isn't like leftists are always victims. Leftists just literally say, hey, this is bad. We should not do that bad thing. Like, for the most part. Nick, thanks for the biddies. Trying to find the message. What did it say? They think having to wear masks or being told to stop being racist on Twitter is a predator. Like, it's wild. They misunderstand these terms on purpose. You think it's on purpose? Which leftist are we talking about? It doesn't matter which leftist. No leftists in general are just like, I'm a victim. None of them. Right? There's like specific people randomly plotted throughout, mostly wackies, that feel like they're victims constantly. A lot of these people are crazy narcissists. Like, Donald Trump is a great example of someone who's always the victim of something. Andy No. Like, there are lefties that do it too, I'm sure, but I don't know a lot of them. They want to. Like, I keep pressing that button, dude. You guys really fucked up not doing the corn. You fucked me up. You really messed me up. Pretty sad about it, honestly.
Only when you recognize that your destiny is in your own hands can you make positive changes to your life, your health, career, relationships, self-esteem, happiness, and most important of all, your character. No one else can or will do it for you. As one recovering addict put it when asked, "When did you decide to become sober?" "The day I stopped blaming everybody else for my problems." To understand where you...
Wait, what? An alcoholic is not the same thing as somebody who is oppressed systemically. What the fuck? And even so, I would say that someone who is an alcoholic, why are they an alcoholic? Why did they turn to drinking? Right? Was everything going right in their life and they just got habitually drunk all the time? I think it was probably self-medication or a kind of a poor culture thing that was happening. Usually the spawn of alcoholism. Both my parents were alcoholics. One of them still is because she's still ticking, you know? Like, why can't we just simply go, okay, but why was this person alcoholic? Yes, it's on the alcoholic, for the most part, to be able to receive help for that or to help themselves, of course. Like, it's not like people are going to slap beer bottles out of your hand, right? Same with addiction, right? Like, if you're addicted to opiates or something. It might not be your fault you got addicted to opiates. Sometimes those just are addicting because you were prescribed them, you take them, and then you just feel like you need them. And you take them again, and you're like, damn, now you're just in a fucking cycle. And you feel like really bad shit if you don't take them. And, like, we're animals. We're humans. Innately, we're going to be like, well, I want to feel good and not bad. And then eventually you just end up chasing that, and you're addicted. It's just a cycle. You didn't realize you got there until you were there. You're like, fuck. I guess this is my shit now. This is my life. That happens. Not everyone's a nefarious fucking... Like, what does he think that drug users are? Like, Republicans and drugs are nuts. They just do not get it, apparently. They're just like, everybody who does crack is just like a criminal. It's like, why? Why is this the case? I don't understand how we can't simply ask why a thing is happening and then figure out the answer to that and then address that part. Why is crack happening? Well, the American government. Silly Jake, Republicans say slavery is oppressive only when it makes Democrats bad. Otherwise, they're constantly defending the Confederacy. Well, of course. You know several alcoholics because they don't understand the problems around. Well, yeah. Do you think a lot of it comes from Republicans thinking humans are above animals? I mean, we are, but only in, like, because of our intelligence, but not like, I don't mean like from an anti-vegan standpoint. I do not mean that. I mean, like, we are intellectually more like, the fact that we can consider ethics means that we have an ethical responsibility towards things like that. Does that make sense? Anyway, the skew of this channel. Do you think I'm a pro-fucking Democrat neolib? Is that what you're... I called myself a leftist multiple times. I'm curious of the skew of this channel. Pro-Democrat neolib who crap on the GOP. Well, the GOP can eat a dick. The GOP is worse than the Democrats. Republicans are worse than Democrats. There are good Democrats within the system. There's not many. Many of the... we're not liberals here. Yeah. But yeah. Yeah, I agree, Ender. Yeah. Democrats are trash. Republicans are fucking evil in a lot of ways, dude. Shit, libcore, man. That's true. We're going on the lib arc, chat.
You are now, and to make better decisions in the future, it's also important.
Bernie, AOC, stuff like that.
To understand history.
Cheated to lead.
Wise people, and being wise has little to do with your age, learn from the past. But a word of caution.
Aren't Dems basically right wing, center right? No. I would say they're center left or center. I would say the worst Democrats like Joe Manchin, Kristen Sinema are probably closer to center right. But like I'd say as a whole, Democrats skew center to center left. But like, yeah, Bernie caucuses with the Democrats due to our system and how it works and how like voting happens and how elections are run. Every pro-capitalist party is inherently right-wing. I mean, sure, but we're like being reductive, right? Like when we talk about this, actually they're right-wing. It's like it's such a. We need to stop doing that. It's not helpful for anyone. It just makes you sound like an asshole. I'm serious. Like it really just. Yes, it's technically correct, especially on the world stage when relative to other people's politics. But we're not relative to other people's politics. We're relative to our own politics. Relative to American politics, the Democrat is the left wing of the system, and that's not ideal, but it is the reality of it. So let's stop. Can we stop with that? Like it's rhetoric for the point of it, for the sake of it, rather. It's just rhetoric because we can say it and we can feel right about it. You know what I mean? Let's do something useful. Let's do something useful and be like and talk about why, like specifically what's going on. Who can we vote for? How can we use electoralism? How can we use electoralism and do as much good with it that we can? Like, because, like, let's stop worrying about, like, the Democrat. Fuck that. Who do we want in office and how do we get them there? That's what we need to worry about. And then what can we do outside of electoralism other than that? We don't need to, like, I don't know. I feel like we circle jerk ourselves a little bit, guys. I feel like we get a little bit happy with our zingers. We shouldn't. We should just be like, you know what? Oh yeah, far left is absolutely way different. Don't get me wrong. Like you and I are different from a standard Democrat, but there are people that are Democrats, especially at the local and state levels, that are dope. There's lots of them. There's so many. Like part of the problem with American politics specifically is the lack of term limits in like Senate and the House, at least the way that they're set up. And like how long people can exist there and like the age at which they can also hold office. Like past 65, I don't think you should be allowed to be a congressperson. You shouldn't be in the Senate, House of Representatives, a judge, or in the executive office. Like at any level. Past 65, you're out. That's it. Use your last 10, 20, 40 years and just fucking get out of there. You do not get to have political opinions. Or you don't get to hold on to your, because when I'm 65, I'm going to assume that I'm closer to center than I am now, right? But that's fine because the future of this country isn't mine anymore. It's the other generations that are starting to vote. When I'm 65, get me the fuck out of politics. You know what I mean? Like, there's no reason for me to be there. Even if I'm right, I can just be an advocate on the sidelines. I should not be having like important legislative, executive, or judicial power post 65. I'm just too removed from the current culture. It just doesn't make any sense. It was short-sighted on the part of the founders of the country. It really was. If we had age limits, if it was 30 to 65, that's the sweet spot. 65 is far too young to have any. That's true, yeah. Yeah. Damn it.
Preoccupation with the past to the point of obsession is destructive.
You think it was intentional? I don't really agree with that, Flever. The the life expectancy was much shorter than that, and I don't know that there's writings on that to corroborate. I just don't think they thought about it. Who found the country wanted to retain power? I mean, sure, but not a lot of them got past 65. I don't think it was intentional in that they thought, yes, the old shall control it. Yeah, I don't like. That's what I mean. It was short-sighted in that they didn't consider it. I don't think they considered it. I think they, I don't think it even ever came up. I don't think someone floated out the idea, hey, should there be an age limit? And Thomas Jefferson was like, no, I must retain power. You know what I mean? So if you turn 65 minutes, no. I would say 65 before election. Or maybe it'd be better. Yeah, maybe 65 at any point during your term, maybe. That'd probably be better, honestly.
The past is immutable. It can't be altered nor reversed. You have no control over the past, but you do have control over the present and the future.
Yes, that's correct. That's pretty much exactly what leftists say.
If you're driving a car whilst only looking in the rearview mirror, then you're going to crash.
Is this an allegory for slavery?
But if you keep your eyes on the road ahead, looking back only to orient yourself, then you are far more likely to reach your destination intact. We all start at different positions in life. We don't get to choose when or where or to whom we're born.
No, but we could offset the issues that could offset the problems that happen due to these circumstances, I guess.
We don't choose our genetics, our nationality, our sex, nor our ethnicity.
No, you don't choose any of that. I know why he put sex in there because he thinks it's a trans thing, but yeah, you don't choose it, but you can choose your gender. Why didn't he mention the side mirrors? Oh, because it's too complicated. Guys can't look back, all right?
Everyone has advantages and disadvantages that they can't take credit for, nor be blamed for. The only question that matters is, what do you do with what you have? It's trendy now for people to talk about privilege.
But there is privilege.
Through a narrow
it's not
lens,
trendy, it's just correct.
Typically focused on skin color, gender, sexuality, and occasionally wealth.
Yeah, I would say all of those things are accurately apprised by most people, yeah.
Privilege is considered a sin that must be decried and even shamed.
No. Privilege specifically is not a sin. It's not considered a sin. Privilege is just something that we must, that we try, not must, I guess. You try to basically acknowledge your privileges. For me, for instance, white privilege, pretty clearly, I'm not going to get racially profiled for a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? That is a privilege. Now, maybe the marketing of the word privilege implies that it's some sort of abovedness rather than saying that something else maybe detracts from your quality of life. But nonetheless, this is the word we have. So I also have the privilege of having this really cool job, even though I worked really hard to get to this point. You know what I mean? I'm not the most popular fucking internet person. I don't have to be. I don't give a fuck about that. But I did work very hard on YouTube. I was going to school at the same time. I was working full time. Worked really hard to get to the point to gain popularity to be able to have this job. Sure. Absolutely. But I also had the privilege of being able to live at my mom's house at the very beginning of this, right? When we first started, I lived at my mom's house. Very shortly after moved out. I went through a breakup. And I moved out, got an apartment, another breakup. Moved out, got a different house, another breakup. Moved back, got a house, married. Well, getting hitched. So, life has ups and downs. I had the privilege of having some internet access. I had the privilege of having a shitty job that had internet access where I could upload the first episode of TBR ever from a McDonald's. That's true, off my laptop. I had the privilege of having a laptop. I had the privilege of having enough money, and it wasn't a lot of money. I was poor. I had enough money to go to community college to get some degree of education. And luckily, I had a really good program there where I could get my 4-year degree basically at my community college, which is really nice. I had the privilege of having a car, of having a mom that wanted to help me with stuff, of having friends that helped me from time to time. I borrowed money from my buddy Dave once in a really tight spot, and he helped me out. I paid him back 2 days later when I got paid, but nonetheless, I had the privilege of that. There's a bunch of little things that just compound, right? Now, does that mean that I need to I'm a sinner? No, these are not what we're talking about when we talk about privileges, right? Like I also have things that are not good in my life that I had to overcome. I was born with a congenital malformation of my ankles and feet. They were turned in, and so I've always had ankle and feet problems my whole life. Day one, I literally took my first steps in casts. I don't know if I talk about this sometimes, like my ankle hurts and stuff, but I don't know if you guys know that it was like actually fucking fucked. Like my whole legs were just fucked. I took my first steps in full leg casts as a baby, or as a toddler, I guess. But always, I have chronic pain every day from my ankles, my Achilles tendons in both feet, the tendons across the top. I worked manual labor for a lot of years. I have now the privilege of not having to work on my feet, which tremendously improved my quality of life, right? I mean, literally every day I would go home and be on the edge of tears, 10 out of 10 fucking pain, like not being able to walk around just from working on my feet at restaurants and stuff for like 14 hours or whatever I was working, 12 hours. Like, that's crazy, right? That's not a privilege. That sucked. I did have to overcome it. However, if I would have had access to health care, I could have offset this, and I could have been a more valuable member of the working class during that period of time. You know what I'm saying? Like, why wouldn't you want that? Why wouldn't you want that for me or anybody else? I was born with it. I even had insurance. Like, my dad worked at like a plant. I had insurance. We got that fixed. I had my surgery as a baby. But I mean, it's like, what are you going to do? My whole life has been pain management, right? Whole life. What am I supposed to do there? If I had to go get a manual labor job, I would do it and I would be miserable. I really would. I right when COVID hit, I got a part-time job at the post office because it paid really well and I was going to get insurance, right? I was going to get insurance for me and Sarah. I ended up not staying there, but part of the reason was I fucked my back up. Also, the other part of the reason was COVID just fucking ruined everything. I mean, everybody was ordering packages, so the job was just ridiculous. And suddenly I wasn't paid enough to do a job I was paid too much to do before. Or at least a requisite amount. It was like $18 an hour. Like, there's so many of these little parts, and everybody has like a similar story. Like, oh, this thing was good in my life. This happened. I had like an uncle that was willing to help me. I had a good education. I had a nice family life. And some people have not as many of those, and more of the bad shit. Like, oh, I didn't have a good family life. I was adopted. And maybe that was a good thing. Maybe it's a bad thing. A lot of people don't like the foster home situation. Maybe you were addicted to drugs at some point. Maybe you had like an unfortunate health circumstance. Like, not everything is always personal responsibility all the time. And even the things that are personal responsibility, you have to take into account the context of the rest of the person's life and how they can even manage it. Like, what if they just never had anybody to help them anything ever? Right? Like, maybe you just didn't have support of family. That's really big for most people in their life. Like, not coming from money is it's super hard to climb out of poverty. A lot of people that climb out of poverty, like Zuby right here, the guy that this whole thing is about, or I guess
I take a different.
This guy right here, like, he does music and stuff. God damn, press the wrong button again, you fucking he does music and stuff. He's got the privilege of breaking out of that. It wasn't because he's necessarily a good like artist, because he's not really that good, right? But he's makes his money from a specific crowd. You know what I mean? He has the privilege of this. I mean, just accepting these things. It's not a big deal.
Different view. I believe it's our responsibility to take advantage of whatever privileges we have in order to succeed and ideally provide such privileges for others.
So provide medical care for others, provide housing for others, and food for others. Let's do this. Easy. What's your opinion on your own white privilege? What do you mean by that? Because I just talked about my own white privilege. Basically, white privilege boils down to, again, we call it privilege, and I don't think that's the correct word, because it's not necessarily a privilege, right? Like in the way that we use it usually colloquially. But that's the word we have for it. So my white privilege just means that as a white guy in America, I don't get the assumptions about me in any real negative way in interactions with people. Like, it's a lack of barriers. Yeah, I don't have barriers based on my race because this is a country whose power structure is based on people that were white. right? Like, it's pretty easy. It's really not hard to even understand that. I'm white. This country was founded by white people who used black bodies as free labor for hundreds of years, and through that there grew a social differentiator between the two groups. White people always had power and were better, and black people were enslaved and then low class, and then, I mean, like, because of just the natural progression of this kind of thing, Mexican people a little brown, right? Don't like those people still in America for different reasons, mostly border issues. Like, my white privilege is simply just not having to deal with the baggage that comes with not being white in America. Helping others is communist and gay. Well,
everything else is just excuse making. When you refuse to take responsibility for yourself, you are, whether you know it or not, giving it to somebody else, be it another person or a government. And that is disempowering.
America still hates Muslims, right? Yeah, same shit. Was that
Empowering. Personal responsibility is the ultimate freedom.
I don't know about hate,
it's great to be free. I'm Zuby, host of the Real Talk with Zuby podcast and author of Strong Advice, Zuby's Guide to Fitness for Everybody, for Prager University.
Good God. All right, cool. What if I give the responsibility to God? Like Jesus take the wheel shit? I don't know. Yeah, personal responsibility is such an easy, like, it just sounds really, really easy for, like, a right winger to be like, you are responsible for your own life. And, like, everybody goes, like, yeah, yep. And then they compound it and make it not about that. They go, like, and you're also responsible for, I don't know, if you're gay, just shut up. Just pretend you're straight. If you're trans, just no, you're not. Like, what? The personal responsibility of, like, living your life as best you possibly can. How about that? Do you not think that trans people are taking personal responsibility on? Because I think they are. Anyway, that's the end of that. Zuby, not a bright fella. Doesn't sound like. Can I share the mini? I mean, you go for it. I don't care. Yeah. PragerU is always it's like the fast food of, like, Republican ideas. It's just always really, really bad. Doink.